Hi there, I'm Jeremy Carroll on the red carpet of Average Joe, a story about faith and perseverance. Let's talk to some of the cast and crew. So this movie is all about faith and perseverance. Why is that an important message for society today?
Well, I think it's always been an important message. And I think that we're in a time in our country, there's always unrest and division, but I think this movie is, it's a movie filled with hope and encouragement and redemption, and it has a lot of great themes in it, and I'm excited to be a part of it, and I think it's an important message at this time in our country.
And Coach Kennedy had a great support group in his family. Who has been there for you when you go through your own hardship?
Well, you know what? It's crazy, and I'm not bragging, but I got about 100 people that are here tonight, and every single one of those people, including my parents, my brother, my wife, and my daughters, have all been so instrumental in my life, and we all have, every single person I could bring up and tell you an amazing story of the connection that we have, but it really does take a team in life. Trying to go it alone is not a great idea.
And this movie, with its positive messages, what do you hope audiences can walk away with practically in their own lives?
Well, I hope people are encouraged to stand strong in their convictions and doing what's right. And I think sometimes it's a scary thing to do that. You know, there's a lot of fear. A lot of times people are afraid they're going to get canceled or whatever it is. And yet, when you know in your heart when something's right, you need to stick to your convictions and stand strong, but treat people with kindness in that pursuit. You know, that's the important part.
So did you ever think this would ever blow up into what it's become today?
Oh, there's absolutely no way anybody could possibly think. Look at us. Really?
And your story has really impacted the nation as a whole. Is there anything that really has impacted you throughout this whole process?
It really reminds me of how much I really do love this country, how much the First Amendment and the Constitution means to me, how much our family means, that we go through basically all hell and back again. And, a love of our God is just, it puts it all together.
I love it. And your story on screen, what do you hope audiences can walk away with practically from your story?
I want them to feel empowered, like a Rocky movie, they walk out of there and they just feel excited, because if we could do this, just average people, imagine what the rest of America could do. So hopefully everybody would be inspired to love our country, love our God, love your spouse, and just make it a wonderful life that we're in.
Faith is so important. Faith moves people. Faith keeps people going. And so for anybody to have faith in no matter what it is, whether it's religion, whether it's just faith in yourself to keep going, I think that's so important and it's so beautiful. Yeah.
And this movie, what do you hope audiences walk away with after getting these messages like this?
I hope they just keep going. Always fight the fight that you believe in, and believe in yourself and keep going, and yeah.
And Coach Kennedy kind of had this great support group with his family. Was there anyone there for you when you were going through anything in your life?
Oh my gosh. My mom, my dad, my grandma, really huge supporters, my little sisters, and unfortunately I lost my dad recently, so my boyfriend has been there for me so he's really helped me so much, and so having a unit like that is really important to me.
Awesome.
Just being able to exercise your faith and being able to represent your faith and show your faith to people, I feel like that's an important thing for America and just people in general. Yeah.
And Coach Kennedy had a great support group in his family backing him up. Do you have anyone in your life that backs you up when you go through hardships?
I think really my mom helps me a lot.
I kind of love you, kid.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting surrounded here. Gosh, I'm getting caged in. But I'd say my mom, really, she helps me through all those challenges, and she always has my back, which I'm really thankful for.
And the messages in this movie, what do you hope audiences can walk away with practically from this movie?
I hope people can just see how inspirational Joe's story really is, and just to always stand up for what you believe in, and that you don't always have to be born into the right circumstances to do something great. He was just, an average Joe, so you don't have to be anything special to do something great.
I think that it is a movie that is trying to give people hope in some very precarious times, and that it is just an American underdog story that everybody can kind of relate to, how one ordinary person followed his convictions to affect change. And yeah, so.
And our First Amendment rights that made this the greatest country in the world are slowly slipping away. It's not quickly. And if we don't do like Coach did and dig in and say, no, freedom of speech, freedom of religion made this the greatest country in the world, then we're going to lose it. And that's not a good thing for anybody. It's not a political statement. That's not a good thing for anybody.
And Coach Kennedy had a great, support system in his family. Who has been there for you when you go through hardships in your own life?
I mean, my parents have been just my best friends, my rocks growing up. I mean, it's so amazing to get to work with my dad and do what I absolutely love doing.
This lady right here, my wife, making a movie, as you know, is a 2-year ordeal. And if I didn't have the support from my wife and my great daughter to work with, I'd go back to doing something else.
And she established all of our faith,
I'm so proud of both of them. Really
Love it.
worked with this film was really great.
Love it so much. And is there any particular scene that really stood out to you and made you believe in this story?
Oh, there's so many, but I just love the comedy in it, and that we took a playful tone and just really got to capture the essence of Joe, and that he's just this character that I hope everybody falls in love with like we did.
There's 2 scenes that are extraordinarily powerful for me. When he's a young boy and he goes back and his parents have moved, he's been abandoned. I don't want to give too much away. That scene makes me cry every time. And then when he's in the Marine Corps in Iraq and fighting, there's a montage. It's just so beautifully done by our DP, who's around here somewhere, and our director. They just nailed it.
I went from being in a Christian faith-based movie to a drug dealer, another one. Yeah, so
That's Hollywood. No,
that's Hollywood. Yeah, so that's not on Peacock Extra. No, it's called Fight Night. Check it out.
So this movie is all about faith and perseverance. Why is that important as a message for society today?
It's what we need for society, because right now the world is upside down right now. So yes, we need that, a lot of faith and believing everything's going to straighten out. Pretty much.
And Coach Kennedy had a great support group in his family. Who has been there for you in your life when you go through hardships?
You know what? My wife has been there. My wife has been there through everything, and she believed in me and told me, hey, you know what? The type of business that I'm in, which you guys know, Hollywood, it can be up and down sometimes. There's a lot of rejection, but so far I've been very lucky. My prayers been answered. A lot of things been working well.
And what do you hope audiences can walk away with getting messages like about perseverance and hope? What do you hope they can walk away with practically from these messages?
From this, that if you believe in yourself and you stand on your faith and don't let anybody rock it, you can do anything you want to. And you can make a difference from the ones that's tried to do it or that's coming up that's trying to do it by them seeing you made it, But this was a very touching base movie. I play smiling Sam Green, so you guys will see me. I'm the guy smiling all the way in the entire movie. I actually hire Coach Kennedy to be to come and work for me for the school district. And I'm somewhat of a nice guy, and then I become a little mean at the end, but he made a big change, So.
Are there any scenes in particular that really stand out to you in this movie?
You know what? When I first saw him, and I asked him, hey, have you ever coached football or anything before? He was like, no. But how strong he was, it made me believe in him. Like, you know what? This guy could probably get my team together, and that's what made me bring him on board. And then you actually see me. I don't know if I can say this like this because it might sound crazy. I'm basically stalking him through the movie. All the way from church, all the way from his house, I'm jogging on the side of him. I'm everywhere he's at, trying to convince him to come and work for my school.
Gosh, society's so polarized right now. A lot of people have lost hope, and I think movies like this bring the inspiration back, show them that you can overcome whatever's going on in your life. You can overcome, and I think you can overcome with God, and that's why these movies are important. So proud of what Harold's been able to do on this movie. It's been awesome, and we're excited to be involved with it from Pinnacle Peak side.
Yeah, it was an incredible project. Just the idea that Joe was willing to stand up for what he believed and fight for the rights of every American by ensuring that we all have our religious freedoms at the end of the day, whether you believe in in God, Allah, it doesn't matter. It's a fundamental right of ours in this country. And I was so inspired by Joe and his story, I was happy to direct it.
And with this movie, what do you hope audiences can walk away practically after seeing this movie?
Feeling inspired and motivated that even though you're an average Joe, you can still take a stand for what you believe in every day.
And he had a great support group in his family. Who's been there in your lives when you go through hardship?
Oh gosh, well for me, this guy quite a bit actually. Mike, we were just talking. This is our 10th film
movie together. Yes,
go ahead.
I think friendships like these. Always my parents. I give my hand off to my parents. They've done so much for me. So I think friendships like these are really important. Find a good group of friends. It doesn't have to be 100, one or two that you can rely on, share with, and really go through life together. I think is really great.
Yeah, and for me, my family, I've got 2 young children at home. My incredible wife, Amy, who's been so supportive. And, life isn't easy. It's always been trials for us. I remember our early films, we were making films for $4 in a bucket of chicken, and we had to fight and scrap just to get the things to the big screen. And thankfully now we have a little bit more of a platform where we can bring God's message to those who need to hear it.
I think it's just an important story to be brought forward all around, right? Like it's a story, a love story, a perseverance in love, as well as a perseverance in, a lot of other things between faith and just the most. My apologies. It's been a long day. It's been sorry.
You're good.
One moment. I think that perseverance is super important, whether it be in faith or in love or in your life goals, whatever it may be. And in this story, it's just a great representation of that whole journey.
Was there a particular scene or moment working on the movie that really impacted you personally?
Yeah, there's a moment where I don't want to give away too much, but obviously, Coach backs down off of what he's being told. Hey, don't go out on the field, and then goes back out on the field later. And just the idea of even whenever you may get discouraged and you back off, like to keep going after those goals and those ideas is the perseverance idea, right? Get back up and keep going.
What are some of the inspirations for this whole the music and everything that you worked on? What are some of the inspirations that you pulled from for this movie?
So I tried to do something a little different. So pull from things new, pull from things that are old. Part of the big inspiration of the score is all these other football movies, and it has inspirational moments and paying service to that, but doing something new way. So I brought in things like modular synthesizers and using guitars in an interesting way and trying to do things in a little bit different than most of these movies might have.
I think number one, it's kind of what America is, right? If people are willing to stand up and stay with it, because Coach Kennedy went through a lot. At the end, you not only get a great victory for yourself, but he's blessed everybody in the country by the extra freedom that was provided for everybody else. So this is a matter of being faithful, and what happens when you're faithful and you stand strong.
Is there any particular moment in the story that really impacted you personally?
Yeah, and it's not even in the film. To me, the most powerful moment was right at the beginning when they knew this was happening and he might get fired. He decided to do the prayer when the kids were singing the fight song so nobody would be around him and get in trouble. And as he was on his knee praying, he felt what he felt like and smelled like was his team. And he went, oh no. And they're going to get in trouble. And so when he opened his eyes, it was the other team and all their coaches had come to surround him because they had seen in the newspaper that an American citizen's First Amendment rights were under attack, and they were going to stand with him. I thought that's America right there.
That's amazing. That's great. And with stories like this and other inspirational movies coming out, why does society need this right now?
I think people are ready to see something that's good. Hopeful. Hope. About character, about the things that really America was built on. We've kind of gotten away from that, and a lot of negatives. This is what nobody wants to live their life for hopelessness, right? They're ready for something that means something that's really has eternal benefits. And so just really important that we see more of these movies, and that it changes people's lives. People see this and they change how they act and what they want to be and what their aspirations are.
We need much more positive aspirations.
That's a wrap from the red carpet of Average Joe. Be sure to check out the review at movieguide.org. And for more videos like this, like and subscribe.
If you enjoy videos that follow your values like ours and you want to help us continue, go to movieguide.org/donate because we're actually a nonprofit. You may not know that, but we're working in Hollywood every day to help families have more choices that follows their values. And also subscribe right now.